Yeah, sure, we all know what happened really in the race itself. It was a bit of a disaster for us, you know what I mean? It's, you don't want to see any dog get injured, especially a dog like of his calibre, and the big build up to it and everything, but it was disappointing, but at least we have a dog at the end of the day. They've done marvellous work, the vets. Must compliment them, like the work even from, we left Shelburne Park, we went straight to Dennis Beery, and Dennis made the dog stable, like he was very comfortable, and we got him down to Gill Abbey Vets the following day on the Sunday, and what they've done, like, it's marvellous, you know. He was a very bad injury, looked bad in the night. The future looked bleak for the dog really leaving Shelburne. We were just hoping to save the dog, and you know, you wouldn't believe it's the same dog I picked up the following week with him. You know, it's just great to have him back, and as I said, we're indebted to him really for the job they've done. Shane Gearan and Kieran Jones, you know, his right-hand man, so it was marvellous. He was really in top form going into the Derby, won the Champion Stakes. Probably wasn't entitled to win the Champion Stakes going into the first bend, but his bravery pushed him through. He had 3 big dogs, 80-odd pound either side of him, and like, he's not an over big dog himself, but he just showed guts and determination that night, and will to win really. That's what the dog has, is will to win. He wants to be first to do everything. If it's just to get him out of the kennel or to gallop or eating anything at all, he wants to be first. But like, he showed great determination that night, and we gave him a trial then the week before in Shelburne. He came out and he done 27.93, so like, obviously he was going into the Derby in tip-top form, and unfortunately he got no luck in the draws. The only night he got trap 1, he popped out, well, flew out really and done the clock. He just drawn 4 or 5 every night for a dog that's such a tight railer, and you know, it was a bit of misfortunate really what happened, and he always had to be 100% right. Couldn't afford any slip up at all to get across to where he wanted to be. But no, we knew it was a big run in the dog, and the night before he ran and done the clock. The first 8 heats on the Friday night, the track was running really well. They ran well through the whole way through the Derby. It was in immaculate condition, and you know, so like, we always knew there was a massive run in him, and once he hit it over 1, you're always looking at the clock to see what he'd do. Whether he knew he'd break 29 seconds or not, I don't know, but it was great to do it. It's great to have him be the first dog. There's some other dog again do it sometime, but he'll always go down in history as the first dog to break the 29 seconds.
Record broken, the first greyhound ever to break 29 seconds for 550 yards in Ireland, Pestana. Sensational.
He's on the lead, I know what I mean, he's doing his bit of exercise 4 or 5 times a day, he's in and out, and it's just trying to keep him quiet under veterinary instructions really. Like, he'd been on medication up to really last week, and he'll be back to the vets now in another week or 10 days to get his 6-week check-up, and he's just the hardest thing is keeping quiet now. All he wants to do is head down towards the gallop, and you know, he's back to himself. He's condition-wise, like, he lost a bit of weight, obviously stress and everything with the injury, but he's never been better really. His pet name is Stan, so it's obviously, it wasn't hard to make that one up, but yeah, he's known as Stan, and some people could call him Pest, but no, he's Stan, and he's a great friendly dog. The injury, I don't know if you've seen the x-rays, they're to be seen, you know, it was a very bad break. There was a few breaks in it really, and the work they've done, there's not too many. I'd say vets would be able to take it on, but you know, hopefully, like, the leg is in great condition, and hopefully he have a long future ahead of him now for where he'll be heading shortly. But no, it doesn't seem to be affecting him or giving him any pain, and like, he's no problem putting full weight on it, so it's really good. His days here are numbered shortly, unfortunately. We'll miss him, but he'll head to Dumfries down for stud duties, and hopefully we might have a few Pestanas in the future. But you know, I think there'll be a lot of people who want to use him at stud, because you know, he had great following in the Derby, and unfortunately they didn't see the best of him in the final night. But you know, he's he's brutally pace, and if he can throw that into his pups, like, you know, I'd say he'd be popular. The phone was hopping, texts and calls, and everyone like, how was the dog? And nobody asked how I was. Very disappointed. But no, yeah, like, you know what I mean. I was all the well-wishers, like, I must thank him very much, you know. But he got a lot. He was very popular, so you know everybody wanted to know how he was. And like the day I brought him back from the vets is the day I took the small little video there for 30 seconds, whatever it was, and sent it on to Ian. And I think it was very popular, and it was nice to see that the public were delighted to see the dog back. You know, not as much as we were, but you know, it's a relief for Des as well, the owner, Des Grace. You know, he's like, Des was floating high like the whole way during the Derby, and he came crashing down, unfortunately. But he's great. He's a sportsman, and he took it on the chin, and you know, he'll be back again.